What's up, y'all? This is Ty. I am here to review season 1, episode 10, the season finale of Bel Air. And Bel Air is the dramatic interpretation or reinterpretation of the hit sitcom from the 90s, The Fresh Prince of Bel Air, which starred Will Smith. And y'all know Will Smith's name is everywhere right now, right? He is everywhere because of that infamous slap to the face that he gave to Chris Rock at the Oscars. So, they're still talking about that. But we ain't going to get into that here. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about Bel Air. And the episode is titled Where To. Like I said, it's the season finale, episode 10. But before I get into that, I got to give a shout out to my lovely subscribers. Folks like Savannah Rivers, Amor Dupree, June BLC, R.C. Kroger, A. Henderson, Penny, and Karima Khadija, especially for this show, because she's one of the people who said, Ty, you need to watch Bel Air, you need to review Bel Air. So that's how I started reviewing Bel Air. And here we are. So shout outs to her, shout outs to all my lovely subscribers. And you too can be a subscriber by doing what? Bam! Hitting that subscribe button. You ain't got to go bam. You could just go, takes nothing. Just hit it like that. Come on, keep the channel going and growing. Let's get this channel going and growing and moving. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, let's get down to this episode. It starts off at the art gallery. We know Aunt Viv got that fellowship. She's feeling a little guilty about the fellowship, though, because she mentions how, the fellowship usually goes to younger women who are struggling. And she's like, I'm a woman of a certain age living up in a mansion. I'm doing pretty good. But her friend reassures her that, no, this is your time. This is a revitalization. I can't even talk. Revitalization of your career. So enjoy it. This is fine. I did we saw that artwork that she did. It was a portrait or painting of Will. Would that be abstract or condensed? Listen, it's been years. I took an art class in college. It was one of my electives. And I used to know the difference between Kandinsky, I'm probably saying it wrong now, and abstract and this and that. I don't remember none of that now. But at the time, I was on it. But anyway, y'all let me know in the comment section if you know. But it's beautiful artwork. And then Will sees the picture. He likes it, the artwork. And he has a conversation with, I was about to say Dr. Phil. with Uncle Phil. And he has a conversation with Uncle Phil where he mentions, thanking Uncle Phil. They had a moment, thank you, you saved my life, you stepped in, you did this, that, and the third, that decision to help me. And Uncle Phil said it was a decision that I don't regret doing. So that was a nice moment between them. We also saw Jazz and Hillary. And I'm liking their relationship. I'm liking it. It's a little cute so far. But did y'all catch when she was talking to Ivy and she introduced Ivy to Jazz and he was like, oh, you're not going to poison me. There was this flirtation going on. So I'm like, what is that about? That was interesting. Also, we've seen Ashley asked Carlton, was he jealous of the photo? And, he said, no, not really. He just said he wanted to know what the crown was for and all that. So that was interesting, too. And, of course, there's Will and Lisa. And Will tried to come over and speak to her. She said, listen, I'm not here for you, bro. I'm here for your aunt. And that's that. Because she's really upset that, she didn't know about his arrest and the real reason why he got there. I understand that. But, he had his reasons for why he couldn't tell you. So she's like, listen, and we slept together and you just don't get it, do you? Then he told her, listen, I can't let it go. I can't let us be over because I love you. And I was like, whoa, see, this is that puppy love. The teenagers. This is that puppy love. I love you and I never felt this way. I'm like, that was fast. That's that puppy love. That's all that is. And so he got her hooked. So they were scheduled to go on a date to talk these things over because he wants to really win her back. Meanwhile, we fast forward. We see after the event, we see that Hillary and Jazz have hooked up at the hotel. And, they getting it on. Somebody told me they didn't like me saying that and they was like, please stop saying that. It's not funny because I said get it on. Maybe I said it too much. I don't know. But anyway, they got it on or whatever. And the funny part in that was they thought their relationship was a little secret. Will called Hillary first. Hillary didn't answer the phone. Then he called Jazz. Jazz answered the phone. He said, give Hillary the phone. He was like, y'all think I didn't see y'all all up in each other's face at the art gallery? I know what's going on. So he asked her for some advice he needed some advice on trying to win Lisa back. Now, we also see Aunt Viv asking the art director, the guy, old Light Eyes, I forget his name. Y'all know the actor. You know who I'm talking about. I forgot his name, though. He's been in a couple of things. We see her asking his character, can you work with me again? And Uncle Phil really wasn't feeling him, and the dude was kind of flirting. But now she's like, my husband is passed, and I really want you to work with me. I'm like, let's see where that's going to go. But the biggest thing of this episode was Will's father, his daddy, has come in town. Lou is here. And he ain't played by Ben Vereen like in the original. This time he's played by Marlon Wayans. And Marlon Wayans gives a great dramatic performance here as Lou, Will's father. And he's not quite welcomed. And when Uncle Phil sees him, he's like, they have their little spat with each other. And he tells him, he says, what's your little friend, Jeremy? He said Jeffrey's name wrong. I thought that was funny. He was like, Jeremy or whatever his name is. He's the one who reached out to me and told me my son was looking for me and that my son needed me and that I needed to come here. Now, y'all know Jeffrey done got fired over his disagreement with Uncle Phil. But, he said, I'm going to still let Lou know about his son. And I understand that because I think you should know your parents. And so he's like, you waited all this time, that you could have waited, it was ridiculous. And then he said, well, Will is with us. We're going to have to wait and see what he thinks about this before we let you see him. We got to think this over. And what's his name said, what am I supposed to do with all this time? Listen, I had my pastor paid for my plane ticket to come out here. I had it rough. Everybody ain't rich like you. What I'm supposed to do? Uncle Phil said, bruh, you waited 13 years to see the boy. You could wait a little bit longer. That was kind of shady. Then we saw Aunt Viv talking to him, and she told him, she said, let me tell you something. When you see this boy, you better tell him you love him. You better say all good things to him. I'm going to throw you out this house myself. So Will found out that his father was there because Carlton told him, because now Will and Carlton are cool now, and I'm liking that. He told him. So then Will tells them, why y'all ain't tell me my father was here, all this other stuff. So now they set up the meeting to have him meet, and Will learned some things. Will got sympathetic because I guess he read the file, and he's like, listen, y'all didn't tell me he was here and all this. My father deserves a second chance. He went through all of the emotions of, he thinks his father deserves a second chance because he knows what his father went through and the bad things that happened to him, and now he wants to meet him. So he meets him, and then it was like, where have you been all my life? And they went through all this up and down exchange. This was some good acting. It was a good exchange. Lou was explaining himself and what happened. I like how Will was showing showing different emotions. A little bit, it seemed like it was going well at first, then it just went left. It went left when Lou started talking about Vi. You cannot, let me tell you something. You do not talk about anybody's mother. You do not listen. When you have children and you and the parents are not together, I don't care what it is, you do not bash the other parent, especially the parent that was there. See, this is where Lou messed up because Will asked him a question about, his situation and what made you go rob that old man and do this and the third. He said, your mother, she was down with some stuff too. She wasn't innocent. And he said something slick. And Will was like, watch what you say about my mother, bro. Watch what you say. He said, you want the truth? And he said, your mother was the worst thing that ever happened to me. And it went downhill from there. They got up, they got in a little tussle. Then Uncle Phil came in and he was like, Negro, this. Uncle Phil was like, don't you touch him. Now, my one thing with this whole thing, with this whole show, maybe I'm old school. These kids cursing in front of adults, maybe in my day, nah, that wasn't gonna happen. Will doing all that cussing and carrying on, nah. I understand you upset, bruh, but where's the respect? I was like, these kids are crazy. Just doing all this cursing in front of your aunt and uncle, and nah, that wouldn't happen. I would have been on the floor. My aunt, uncle would have knocked, watch your mouth, boy, watch your mouth. But they didn't say nothing. They let him rant and rave. He told his father, you know, where were you all this time? And he said, you didn't come here if I didn't send for you. You wouldn't have come looking for me had I had sent for you. And then, you know, it was real powerful. Then they had this whole thing. And then Will said, F you, I don't want to see you no more. What's his name was like, he didn't mean that. But losing his feelings, he like, you know, I'm done, which I think that's wrong. You still be the father and you still try to work and heal. You try to do that, but that doesn't happen. So that was really good. That was really powerful. But of course, Will is upset. He's in his feelings. Will wants to leave the whole mansion now. He pissed off with everybody. He's like, y'all didn't tell me certain things. And they're like, no, I know you're upset. Your emotions are riding high. You need to stay. He told them, y'all didn't help me either. Y'all abandoned me too. Y'all abandoned me and my mother. We didn't see y'all in years. Please. But I did like the scene where Carlton gave him a hug and put some money in his pocket. And I like that. I really like that. So Will done stormed off. We also found out some truths. They found out about this whole thing with Jeffrey. They're like, where's Jeffrey? They know that Jeffrey was fired by Uncle Phil. But Uncle Phil is fronting and lying, saying, no, blah, blah, blah. He won't say anything to them. And the kids are like, we know about Jeffrey. But then we see Carlton go over to Lisa's house and he's asking Lisa for help. And that scene was so good when he started crying, telling Lisa, you got to help me find Will, please. And he started crying. What a scene. Because Lisa was done. She's like, this man done stood me up. He said, listen, his father came into town today. And most of the things he heard about him was true. So please help me find him. I'm trying to find Will. Will is with Jazz. And I like the conversation that him and Jazz had. And Jazz told him, bro, listen, them people in Bel-Air, they want you. They love you. They want to deal with you. Will's mother is all upset. She's like, how do y'all let him leave like that? She's blaming herself, saying, I should have told him the truth, that it was me who kept his father away from him because I didn't want him to know about his father being in jail, this, that, and the third. And I understood that too. So she was upset too. But like I said, Will was with Jazz. Jazz told him, you got to go back. Another great scene. He's crying and doing that. He said, you got to go back. You need to go back to where you are loved. The choice is yours. You got to make that choice. But overall, really good episode. Good end to the season. I hope this show gets picked up for season 2. I believe it already was picked up. Somebody told me it was picked up for season 2. But that's all I have. I thought I really enjoyed this. It was a good season finale. Thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all in the next video.